Hey, welcome back, and hope you're all doing well today. Hey, thanks for the ongoing support, continued support. It's much appreciated. Uh, I don't know what to say. I'm humbled, and I'm just so happy that things that I show you guys, it helps and it works. So I'm very happy. I'm only showing you how I learned how to play guitar. After two failed attempts, when I came back the third time, a lot of you that have been following me know my story. When I came back the third time, I came back with a whole different philosophy. I'd done some homework and I kind of figured out, you know what, enough's enough. I can't learn it. I can't count strings, 5/7, 5/8, 5/9. I can't do that. My mind works differently. So when I took a different approach, things started to happen for me and I accelerated so quick that people around me were like, oh my God, like I saw you a month ago, you could barely, now you're, oh my God. And it is true. And I don't know why, but I believe it's just the approach that I brought back with me, okay? So today, we're going to start a series for you people thirsting for this knowledge, upper beginners and intermediates, and even beginners take a look because, like I've always said, you're more than happy to stop at your guitar foundation, left, right, and some open chords, and do it right. You'll be a fantastic guitar player. But if you want to go to that next level, and you want to make yourself even better, you're going to have to know some fretboard theory. I know, it's just the way it is, okay? And it will really, really help you. So as always, what I'm trying to do here is present it to you, present some things that I think you need to know in the most simple way possible, okay? So forget the rules, forget everything else. We are just going to work our way, learn the fretboard, and eventually, using these few concepts, show you how I started putting together my own little licks and little four-note riffs and full guitar solos, okay? And believe me, if only you'd have known me years ago, I mean, nobody would believe that I would be able to do this now, okay? There's no magic pill, there's no magic trick. It's just looking at things a certain way and practice. Practice, practice. That goes without saying. I've said in other videos, no matter what you're learning, golf, tennis, cooking, macrame, sewing, whatever, the more you do it, the better you get. And that's really what it boils down to. And if you like doing it, you're going to want to do it every day. Okay? All right. So, right now, we're going to cover a couple of things, okay, that are very important to know moving forward. And some of you may already know this, and some of you might go, wow, I never realized. All right, so your fretboard, when you look at it, okay, and I'm assuming you already know those strings here. We did a video called Taking Note of Your Notes, which basically put in place some things to get you getting ready for this, what we're doing right here today, what we're starting, okay? So you might want to check that out too. So let's take any note, first of all, and within these brown or gold strings. So when you look at your fretboard, you'll see there's two colored strings on most sets of strings. And even if there isn't, string 3 to 6, these four, which are usually gold or bronze, okay, look at them as one section, all right? And these two little skinny strings that are usually silver or nickel, whatever you want to call it, those are a second section of strings, okay? And in between string 2 and 3, we're going to call that the border. Now there's something that we have to do when we play guitar with solos, scales, notes, etc., is we have to do something every time we cross that border, all right? So remember that. Like if you travel, you go across a border, you've got to be prepared to do certain things. When you play guitar and you cross that border, you got to have to do something, all right? We'll get to that in a moment. So we're going to look at our fretboard as two sections. So we're going to take that F sharp in the gold section. Hey, let's do F sharp. Could have been any note, because this will work for any note. F sharp right here. And if I go 2 strings down and 2 strings over, or 2 frets over, I have an F sharp. So F sharp here, 2 strings down, and 2 frets over, I have an F sharp. Pick any note. A. I have an A here. If I go down 2 and over 2, I have an A. Okay? All right. Now, that works everywhere in these gold strings. So if you're just noodling around and you go, okay, so this is a, what note is this? This is a D, okay? And I want to find another D real fast, I know right there. And it's usually right on your ring finger. So you got your pointer finger, sorry, on the D, your ring finger is right there. 2 down, 2 over, okay? There's your 2 Ds. Sometimes you can even strum those 3 strings. The open one in between your fingers, and you get like some kind of a chord, because that's what you're playing. You're playing a chord if you play more than the one note. So in this case, you're playing D, D, and the open D. So you're playing 3 Ds. Okay? But that's just a quick finder, all right? Now, let's go back to the F sharp, okay? So there's an F sharp there. And we know that anywhere we go 2 and 2 with any note, we got the same note octave higher. But what if we do this? F sharp, down 2 and over 2, F sharp, just like Ray said, okay? Now we're going to go down 2 more. Oh, we've crossed the border, okay? So now we're on our second string. So once we cross the border, instead of going over 2, we have to add a fret. So we go to 3, okay? And there's my F sharp. So let's do that from the beginning. F sharp, right? Down 2 and over 2, F sharp. Down 2 and over 3 is my F sharp, not 2. If I had 2, that's just an F. F sharp, okay? Because we crossed the border. Let's take another note. Let's do G. G, right? Over, down 2 and over 2, there's my G, okay? Down 2, oh, I've crossed the border. Now I got to go here to 3. And there's my G, okay? Now coming back, same thing. Over 3, up 2. Over 2, and up 2, and I'm back on my G root. Let's do that again. G, down 2 and over 2 is a G, okay? Now, if we go down 2 and over 3 because we crossed the border, there's our G, okay? Now we got to go back. G, so that's over 3, up 2, over 2, up 2, and there's our G again, okay? So what have we learned so far? Let's do a recap. So what we've learned is that the strings are 2 colors, okay? So we look at them as 2 sections. So we have 2 sections here going on. In between those 2 strings, we call the border. So when we cross from the 3rd to the 2nd, we're crossing the border. And what do we do when we cross the border? We move everything up 1 fret. So instead of 2 and 2, it's 2 and 3. So once again, let's take the F. We'll go F. Here's my 2nd string down. So there's my F right there. Now we put our pointer finger there, okay? And we go same pattern. And then when we get to 2, we're on where? Over the border. So I have to come out here. Okay, I can play this note, and I can come out here for my F sharp, right? Or my F, sorry, right? Same thing going back. 3 and 2. 2, 2. All right. The other thing that we need to know is, and the same rule applies, anywhere in the gold strings. If this is an F, let's use F sharp again. If this is an F sharp, what's the note below it? Well, we know that's an A string, 2nd fret, so that's a B. So we have F sharp and we have B. All right, so let's look at the F sharp over here. Okay, so there's our F sharp. F sharp. Well, what's below it? That's our B. All right, let's look at, there's an F sharp here, okay? What's right below it? B. So those notes are together everywhere on the bold strings, those gold-colored, bronze-colored strings. Wherever you have a note, whatever's underneath it once will be underneath it all the time. I know it's so simple, but a lot of people just don't know that. Now, why is that important? Well, because that gives me two notes right off the bat when I'm building something here to play. I'll know two notes. So what I mean is if I know that this is an A, then I know for everywhere there's an A on the guitar, there's a D right under it. So if I'm playing in A, so let's take the octave. So we'll go 2 and 2, make it interesting. So there's my A, okay, right there. And I'm noodling around to play something of a song that's written in A. So the chords might be A, E, D, or something like that, okay? So there's my A. I know that's going to work, right? Now, and I know because if I go down, well, what's below an A? Well, that's a D. Without looking, I know that's a D because that's the way it works, right? A and D are always together. And of course, if I go 2 frets off of each one in any direction, I'll know because there's my, right here, there's my A. So if I go 2 frets up, A sharp B. So that's a B. So I know I now have an A and a B. And because the D is always under the A, I know I have a D and an E. So now I have a little 4 notes in a box that I know will sound good together. They just work well together, okay? Now, if I go somewhere else on the guitar, okay, and let's say we go, here's an A here, right? So let's say you start on this A because it matches well with the song. We want a little bit of a lower A. So there's our A. Now, what's underneath our A? Well, we know it's a D. Uh-oh, that's not a D, but it's right underneath. Why? Because we've crossed the border. So once we cross the border, we have to move over 1 fret. So instead of it being A and then right under is D, because we crossed the border, it's A, D, A, D. So you might have to bring in another finger instead of moving. But you can move your pointer if it's not a fast song. You could go. No problem. Okay? So again, there's the significance of the border. So let's kind of let's wrap things up as to what we've learned today. And it might not seem like much. And again, many of you might already know this. But for those that don't, it's very important moving forward because these concepts are going to come into play as you start building your own note boxes, I call them, and little patterns. And that's what I do. I play patterns and shapes, not G major pentatonics and E mixolydians and all. I don't do that. I make a shape. I go where the music tells me, the key of the song. I find the notes using the same techniques as I just showed you. I just do it faster because I've been doing it more. And that's what will happen to you. So before I leave you, I want you to understand something, that as you move forward and learn different things on the guitar, you're essentially starting all over again. So those of you right now that are playing 3 or 4 chords and you're able to transition and you're able to make songs and you kind of got it going down pretty darn good, okay? And now you're going to start doing this. Now all of a sudden we're gone back to kindergarten, all right? We have to look. We got to count. Oh, 2, 2. Okay, yeah. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to pluck the wrong string. We're going to pluck the wrong notes. We're going to fret in the wrong place. That's just going to happen. But because we already have some sort of a foundation under us and we're not starting from scratch, the learning curve is going to be a lot quicker this time around, okay? That's the one thing I can assure you. But you are going to be tripping around. So right now we're going to leave it at knowing your notes across at least this low string here, but preferably both, 5 and 6 string, all the way across, okay? What would be really beneficial, but you're going to pick this up as we move on to this series, is to know your dot notes too. Know the notes on the dots going down the columns. Okay? But really, these two are the most important. And the two things that I just showed you is that within the gold, all right, it's 2 down and 2 over, and that's the same note, different octave, until we hit the border. And then we have to go 2 down and 3 over. Okay? And lastly, everywhere in the golds that there's a note that you want, there's a note right under it, and that never changes. So wherever you are and you play an A, okay, what's under an A? A D. A, D, A, D. And if we want to find that octave A, we go down 2. We've crossed the border, so we have to go across 3, not 2. And there's our A right there. B. A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. Okay? 2 important things. And I hope it makes a bit of sense. Fire any questions or comments or concerns or requests you have. All right? And thank you once again for your kind words and your continued support. And if you like what you see and you think I can help you out moving forward, hit the subscribe button and let's get you playing guitar quick. All right? Bye for now.